Hi, this is Vicky Oftermauer, and I am an Inuk entrepreneur. I am a spiritual life and business coach. I'm a speaker, I'm a writer, and first and foremost, I am an extension of creation with a capital C. And I know that to be true in my life today. But I wanted to share a story. I had mentioned, I put a post on Facebook today about, because the memories popped up that it was 7 years ago today that the Anthony Bourdain show, The Layover, that my ex and I were featured in, our business was featured in, was on TV for the first time 7 years ago today. It was a very exciting time, but I wanted to share the story of how I manifested Anthony Bourdain coming to film at our shop. I know that to be true, and it aligns exactly with manifestation laws, so I wanted to share it. So, in the restaurant industry, in the Toronto restaurant industry, it's a pretty small industry where everyone knows each other, and especially the chefs. And so my ex and I, we have this business, and working hard, very proud of ourselves, proud of what we offer, the product that we offer. And we became like the hot spot in town. We became, this was before delivery apps. It was like Instagram was just starting to like take off. And we were crushing it. And so we were this hot spot in town. We were pioneers in the industry, as far as a highly trained chef, my ex, operating a small quick service restaurant. So very high skill, with in a very casual environment. So we were pioneers in the city, because these are the kinds of places that we liked to dine at. So we just created what we liked. So yeah, we were very busy, and we were beloved by the restaurant industry, in particular the chefs in the restaurant industry. All the top chefs came to see us. They'd come for staff meal. It was a really fun time. So it was huge news. Obviously, Anthony Bourdain coming into town is huge news. And so the ex and I, we went for brunch at a restaurant down the street, and the owner of that restaurant had told us that the Anthony Bourdain people had been in touch with him, and he had already signed his waivers for filming to take place in his restaurant. And so what we knew was that this trip, we didn't know much, but we, based on that information that we got from the owner, was that they knew where they were going, and that they had already been in touch with those people. And I was so confident, because I was starting to learn about the law of attraction, and I was about 3 years in my kind of spiritual exploration and moving into practice. And so I was confident. I was so confident in our product, and in our kind of reputation in the city as being beloved by the industry, that Anthony Bourdain was going to come to our shop and film. I had no reason to believe that this would happen. I just knew that it was going to happen. So I decided that it was going to happen. And so the days were leading up, we didn't hear anything. Twitter, which was very big at the time, Twitter was a buzz when he finally landed in town, and Anthony Bourdain sightings were happening and people were all talking about Anthony Bourdain in town. Didn't hear anything, but I was confident. I was still, despite having no indication that it was going to happen, I truly believed and knew that it was going to happen. So every time the phone would ring, I said, it's Anthony Bourdain's people. Every time, people came in that we didn't know, oh, it's Anthony Bourdain's people, just stayed in that vibration and nothing. So my partner at the time, he went home at about, 6:30 or whatever. He went home. And so myself and the staff were working the night shift, and I see this gentleman walking. First I see him outside, and then when I first saw him, I was like, that's a producer. And he walked into the shop, and I saw that he was with 3 other people. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And he ordered 4 sandwiches and didn't say anything. And we made the sandwiches, and I said to the cook who was on staff, who also was in the vibration with me, that he's like, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Again, no indication that it, but I'm like, dude, like, those are producers. And they didn't say anything. So anyways, we made these sandwiches. They took them outside to the little bench that we had outside, and they took a bite, and they were like, oh yeah, yeah. And they were just like loving the sandwich. And I can't remember, but I don't think they even finished it. The gentleman that I served came back in, and he's like, we're with Anthony Bourdain, and we'd like to come in with Tony tomorrow and film at the shop. And I just knew. So I texted my ex, and he came. He was there in about 10 minutes. And he spoke with the producers and, signed waivers and such. And we just started getting ready. We started cleaning the shop. And we didn't do anything different except just scrub down. And, we couldn't believe it, And my ex was still like, oh, anything could change. I'm like, he's coming. It needs to be here. And we went to work the next day and continued to just get ready. And then Anthony Bourdain walked into our shop at about 1 o'clock and ordered sandwiches and had sat down with a chef from the area who had invited him to come in, and they filmed this segment that was on the layover, and it was incredible, and I'd met him before. I had met him with my ex, actually. We met him on Saint Martin a few years earlier. I don't know, maybe 5 years earlier. We just happened to run into him on the island. But yeah, he is and was, just as he was on TV, just really a cook's cook, just loved he loved the industry and the cook culture so much, obviously. And his work changed all of us, I think. His passion for food and people and culture really changed us all. So it was such a privilege to have him. It was such a fun experience to be in the knowing of him coming to film at the shop. And yeah, such a great blessing and a privilege to have him. And so proud, so proud to have been a part of that. And yeah, so that is how I manifested Anthony Bourdain coming to our small little hole-in-the-wall ma and pop sandwich shop in a hipster neighborhood in Toronto, caught on film. And yeah, so how to manifest. Steps on how to manifest. One is to name what it is you want, right? So in this case, it was wanting Anthony Bourdain to come and film at our shop. And what I learn in manifestation is to look at the limiting, from Amanda Francis, look at the limiting beliefs that that show up that it's not going to happen. So there was no part of me that didn't believe that it wasn't going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. So but if beliefs do come up, looking at those thoughts, and 3, being like, how would it feel if what you are wanting to manifest, how would it feel if that were to happen? And I just lived in that delight, in that knowing that it was going to happen. And it was so fun. It was just so fun to really pretend, but just be in the energy and the vibe of knowing that it was going to happen. There are more steps to Amanda's process, but those are the steps that I took in this particular case, and it happened. I don't believe in coincidence. And yeah, it was so fun. So anyways, I will link the episode wherever those links go, I guess down here somewhere. But yeah, so share with me any of your manifestation experiences, and if you had the same steps or if yours were different. So let me know in the comments below. Okay, thank you for watching and listening, and push the like button, subscribe to the page, and let me know in the comments what else you would like to learn on. Okay, thanks, bye.